Good morning, beautiful people of the world. Good morning. It is Tuesday, September 19th, 2023. Yep, September 29th, 2023. I hope you all are doing well today. If you're starting your day, I hope you have a good day. If you've ended your day, I hope you had a good day. I am on my way to work, and it's raining and it's dark because I left early because I'm trying to get here early to get a parking space. And I don't know, I'm just not feeling 100. Didn't feel 100 yesterday. I don't feel 100 today. I'm not sick. I just feel down in my spirit. It's just so much going on here in our city, here in Chicago. So many deaths of young people. We had a 14-year-old young man who went to homecoming this past weekend, Friday. And coming out of the homecoming dance, he was shot and killed. And it has really rocked me to the core. It really has. Honor student. He had been at the school for only 4 days. He had transferred from another school. And his mother, he was his mom's only, mom and dad's, mom's only child. I don't know if her and the dad are still together. The dad was on the news talking yesterday. So I don't know if that was his only child. But nevertheless, it has really broke my heart. And I hate to start this video out being such a Debbie Downer, but I've had so many girlfriends, close girlfriends, from June to now, lose a young person over senseless gun violence. And I'm just tired. My spirit just hurts. It just really hurt. And as a mother of a 15-year-old black boy in an inner city, I worry. I try not to worry. I pray every morning over Christopher, and I pray for him. I pray over him and I pray for him. But I have to be honest, because there is no other way to be. I worry. I am concerned. And my spirit hurts because I think about my own child. I think about my own black child. My own black boy teenager who, is constantly, in the throes of danger. I worry. I pray, but I worry. I'm concerned. I'm scared. I'm just, my spirit is just troubled. So I ask you all to pray for me, that God will give me some peace. I ask that you all will pray for me that the spirit of worry will, that the spirit of worry will that the spirit of worry will leave because we know that the Word of God says that we are not to have a spirit of fear, but to be of sound mind. And I trust God in everything, and I know God for myself, and I believe in His Word, and I believe in His covering, and I believe that He is who He is, and He will do what He say He will do. But in my own flesh, and not the flesh meaning this, the flesh, this skin, but in my own human thoughts and feelings, I worry, I'm concerned. And I ask God to take away the worry, because I know that it is not good to worry. I ask God to give me peace, to know that in all things I have to lean on Him, and I have to trust Him in everything, in every way. I have to lean on Him, and I have to trust Him. So I woke up yesterday, I wasn't 100, and I woke up today and I'm still not 100. So I just ask for you all to just pray that I just have some peace. Christopher's homecoming dance is in 2 weeks. And I'm just gonna be honest, I don't even want him to go. And although the last homecoming dance he went to, I was there, I dropped him off and I picked him up, and I will drop him off and I will pick him up. But it's scary. It's scary to me that you can't let your kids go nowhere. But anywho, I'm going to stop talking about it because I'm starting to get really emotional. And I don't want to cry on camera. But I'm just being honest, I feel a certain type of way. I really do. So I don't know. I just got a whole lot of stuff going on that's making me really, really emotional. And when you turn on the news and you just keep hearing about 14-year-old black boys being murdered, being slain, for no reason. It's hard as a mother. It's just hard. I identify and I feel what these mothers feel for their black sons, because I have one. And it just seems like it's just more and more of our black boys being murdered. And it ain't nothing you can do. And you don't even know what to say. You just don't even know what to say anymore. You just don't know what to say. Oh, so anywho, one of the other things I wanted to talk to you all about was, I don't know if you all have, I heard about it, but I hadn't really did any research about it. But anyway, I have been hearing people talk about the Kirk Franklin Father's Day documentary. It's on YouTube. I will link it here. I know I said I was going to link that other stuff in that lingerie video. I still am. I just wanted to hurry get the video up. Which the video is doing really good, y'all. It's at 1,700 views. And of course, they ain't turned the damn thing to green yet. So I ain't making no damn money yet. That's alright. It's alright. But anywho, I will link it. It's a documentary of Kirk Franklin, and it's called Father's Day. And when I tell you it is deep and it is powerful, and he is talking about him being adopted and how he never knew who his father was, and the man that he thought was his father actually was not his father. I implore you all to watch it. It is very deep. It is very, very powerful, but it is deep. And the pain, the pain and the healing. So what I will say to you, without telling you too much about it, but what I want to talk about, and when you watch the documentary, then you'll know what I was referring to. You know, I look at the word healing so different, and in so many different aspects of how it relates to us moving forward. Because see, a lot of times we want to get healed, or we want to be delivered, but we're not willing to do the work, or we're not willing to allow God to do the work to heal us. And so in this documentary, how he finds out how he finds out who his real father is. It wasn't something that he was looking for. It wasn't something that he asked somebody to ask or seek out. But God is amazing in the way that he moves. He just moves how he wants to move. And he moves in his time and on his time. Not in your time, but on his time. We can't always figure out how God moves, or where he gonna move, or where he gonna position us while he moving. But when he move, he moves. And you may not even understand the movement, but know that God knows what he is doing, because he is who he is. And so the way in which he found this out was something that he wasn't even looking for. But God said, enough. Today is the day that this is the time that you need to know what you need to know, because I need you to have closure. I need you to have peace. See, when you give your life to God and you surrender to him in all things, not just a little bit of you, but all of you, he then decides how he's going to move through you and in you. And you, if you have surrendered and gave your life to Christ, you cannot pick and choose when and how you want him to move. Because once you give it to God, and once you give yourself to him, then he does what he want to do. Not what you want him to do, what he want to do. Does he give us the desires of our heart? Yes, he does. Does he answer our prayers? Yes, he does. But he also knows what is best for you. He also knows what is concerning you and how he want to bring it to you. He knows how much you can handle. He knows how much you can't handle. He knows, because you're his child, and he knows you. I know Christopher. I can look at Christopher's face and I know when something is wrong with him, because he's mine. He's mine. I carried him for 9 months. I birthed him. I brought him into this world. I can look at my baby's face and tell when something is wrong with him. He was upset last week. I came home. He came out to the car. I can look at him. I know right away what's wrong with him. He can't lie to me. He can't tell me, oh, ain't nothing wrong. I know when something wrong with you, because you're mine. And because you are God's child, God can look at you. He knows what's wrong with you. He knows what's concerning you. He knows what's troubling all up in your spirit. He knows. Whether you say it, whether you voice it, whether you pray about it, whether you talk to him about it, he knows. He knows, because you belong to him. And when you give your life to Christ, and when you say to God, I want you to be the head of my life, and I want you to take full control, He does that when you surrender. So in this process, he finds out who his father is. And the way in which he found out was not by happen chance, but it wasn't the way in which he thought he was going to find out. Anyway, his mother is denying that the man that he found out was his father is really his father. And she denies it. They take 2 DNA tests. She still denies it. Says it couldn't be, can't be his father. And in that process, Kirk tells his mother that if she does not give him the truth regarding his father, that he cannot hug her, there's no more sugar, there's no more this, there's no more that, blah blah, he's done. Now he hasn't really even had a relationship with her. If you know Kirk Franklin, if you've followed him, I've been following Kirk Franklin from the beginning when he first started. With his group, his gospel group, I've known him as a young Kirk. Kirk Franklin and I are the same age. He was born in January 26th, I believe, 1970. I was born February 11th, 1970. We are the same age. He's a Christian. He's a man of God. He's a minister. I know you know who he is. Even if you don't follow him, even if you don't like his music, whatever. I know you've heard of him. I really, really would like to reach out to him and say to him that your healing has nothing to do with her, your mother. God gave you this truth the way that he gave it to you for you. It has nothing to do with your mother. It has nothing to do with your father. It has everything to do with you. Because what we must realize and what we must understand, that we are a whole person, regardless of who our mother and our father is. That there are gifts inside of you that are stored up in you that you don't even know you have. You don't even know you have them. Because God is the author and the finisher. He is the beginning and the end, the Alpha and the Omega. And so our healing is not determined on who decides to participate in it. The healing is about you. The healing is for you. And so whether somebody admits to you about something or give you your truth, God has already did that. He's already did it. So it's not about his mother telling him or confessing or saying, yes, it's a possibility that this man could be your father. God already gave you it. He already gave you the truth. He already told you. He already put it there. So you not forgiving her or telling her that you're done with her, it has nothing to do with her. It has nothing to do with her. But it has everything to do with you. I understand his pain. I understand his anger. I understand his frustration. I understand him feeling lost. I understand him not even understanding what has happened. But regardless of what his mother says is the truth or not, or regardless of her denial in regards to his father, regardless. What he has to do, what he needs to do, is let his mother believe whatever she want to believe. Because denial is, here we go again, nowhere to park. Denial is not about denial is a disease. It's a disease. I'll be right back. I'm back. Now, I left the house at 6 o'clock, and it still ain't nowhere to park. I'll park over here. Still ain't nowhere to park. You're gonna have to wait. Sorry, not sorry. Just hold on. Okay. And she saw me pulling out. She acted like she didn't want to wait, but I was pulling out too. But anyway. Let me say this to you all. Denial is a disease. Denial is an addiction like any other addiction. Denial is strong. Denial believes denial believes denial. And denial is almost to the point that it could be considered being a narcissist. And if you don't know what a narcissist is a person who believes that they never do anything wrong. They don't recognize their faults or things that they have did to people that is wrong. And that's how denial is. Denial is strong. It's strong. It's strong. Because you can make your mind believe something that is not true. So she kept saying, no, this isn't your father. This isn't your father. So he told her that if she did not tell him the truth, that he was done with her. And I understand him being angry. I understand his frustration. But how many times have we did something that God could say to us that he is done with us? How many times have you not did right, or you've know that what you did was wrong? Or you know right from wrong. You know right from wrong. We all know right from wrong. We all know when we right, and we all know when we wrong. You know. We are blessed that we have a God that forgives us, and that he doesn't say to us, I'm done with you. I'm through with you. If we had a God that every time we did something or didn't do something the way in which he wanted us to do it, and he told us that he was done with us, how lost would we be? See, God has to work in you and through you in order for you to get to the point of learning how to forgive. Learning how to forgive is not easy, especially when you have been hurt and you have not healed. So when people hurt you and you are not healed from their hurt, you can't forgive them, because forgiveness is in parts and in stages. We know from the Word of God that we are supposed to forgive our brother and our sister immediately when we have been betrayed. But we don't, because we deal with our flesh, which is our emotions, which is our pain, our hurt. So my prayer for Kirk Franklin is that he heals. He's in therapy, and that through his healing, that he will realize that this mother has to let God work through her. And in order for them to come back together, she herself needs to be healed. Because it is hard for you to ask an individual to forgive you when you ain't forgave yourself. When you have not looked at yourself completely naked. I don't mean naked in the flesh. I mean naked in the spirit. When you take off everything, doubt, denial, not accepting, lying, you got to take off all of that. You got to get naked in your spirit. Not in your flesh, but in your spirit. Until you pull off those layers and get naked and stand in your full nakedness of things that you have did, until you really, really look at yourself naked, not naked in your body, but naked in your spirit. You can't ask nobody to forgive you if you yourself have not forgiven yourself and you ain't took off all of that. So her denial, God has got to get in there. She got to be willing to strip out of all of that in order for God to do what he needs to do and to bring them back together so that they will have peace. Because Kirk Franklin is a man of God, but he's a man. He's a man. When he was on the recording, the phone with his son, and he was cursing his son out, everybody was all up in uproar. Oh, he cussed at his son. He told his son he would beat his that. He's still a man. I love the Lord. I'm a Christian, but y'all know I cuss. But I'm still a woman. I'm still human. People make me mad. I'm not making an excuse. What I'm saying is, it's what is real. And because you love God and because you are a Christian, that does not mean that you don't operate in your flesh. I struggle with my flesh every day. And my flesh is it's not this. It's this. It's my emotions. It's what things that make me angry. I gotta fight against. It's when you hear me cuss. It's a lot of things that I want to do to people that have betrayed me, that have hurt me. But I'm not God. It's probably people that want to do some things to me because maybe I've hurt them. So he's still a man. He's a man of God, but he's a man first. He's a man of God, but he's a man. And so although he's a Christian, he's a minister, he's a music producer, he's all of these things, he still hurts. This man cried. 53-year-old man. He's got some deep, 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 deep hurt that only God, and through therapy with God, can patch all of that up. His mother is who she is. One thing I learned, and God had to speak to me about this. When I had my son, Christopher, many of you all know I'm a single parent. My son's father is not in his life. But I remember after I had Christopher, I was pissed with everybody and everything. Because here I was, a 38-year-old woman with a baby and no husband. And the father wasn't going to do nothing. I hated myself for getting involved with such a loser, such a low life. When I get on this channel and I talk about men and I talk about dating, the men always want to come for me. But see, you just don't know my story. You really don't know my story. You don't really understand why I'm like I am. I'm like I am because of things that have happened to me with men. I'm asking God to work with me and help me because I don't trust men at all. I don't even want to give another man my heart. All men have did in my life is hurt me. All of them. Every last one of them. I cannot tell you that there's been a man that has never hurt me because I would be lying to you. They've all hurt me. Some have dog walked me. Some have not dog walked me, have not treated me like that, but they all have hurt me. So that's why my heart, when I feel like you don't want to be bothered with me, when I feel like you act funny towards me, I back all the way up. And I'm learning how to do that more and more and more. So I remember after I had Christopher, I'll tell you this quick story. I had Christopher on a Saturday. I didn't come home from the hospital until Wednesday because I had a C-section. I came home that Wednesday. The next Saturday, my staples opened up and I had to be rushed back to the ER. I was bleeding profusely. Everybody in my family was scared because they didn't know what was going on, including me. I had to be restapled again. From that restaple, I got an infection. From the infection did something to the wound. So then I had to see a wound specialist for 6 weeks. I was in a lot of pain. And I remember calling Christopher's father and saying to him, when are you going to bring something for this baby? This baby need Pampers. This baby he was a newborn. He cussed me out. When I tell y'all he cussed me out, he cussed me out. He cussed me out. He was screaming and hollering on the phone. He was acting a damn fool. My mother said, hang up the phone. Hang up the phone. Hang up the phone. I hung up the phone. My mother said, don't call him no more. Leave him alone. She said, he crazy. Leave him alone. He telling my mother, yeah, I'm trying to be cool, but she gonna make me hurt her. My mama said, you trying to be what? I'm trying to be cool. I'm trying to be cool, but she gonna make me hurt her. So my mother told him, okay. She hung up the phone. She came in the bedroom. She said, let me tell you something. She said, he's a nut. She said, he tried to kill you once. She said, don't give him another opportunity to try to kill you. She said, he don't want to do nothing for his baby. Don't worry about it. I was pissed. I was crying. I was upset. And I'm in all this pain. I'm holding my stomach. She got on the phone. She called my father. She told my father what happened. My father said, oh, really? He trying to be cool. He being cool because he don't want to hurt her. He said, oh, okay. He said, okay. He said, I got something for his ass. My father came home and I was at still at my parents' house. And my father he never came upstairs. My mother would always take the baby down, down there to see him because he knew that I was, in pain. He didn't want to disturb me. But this particular day, he came up the steps. I'll never forget it. He came in the bedroom. I was in my mom's room in her bed. He came in there and he said to me, he said, let me tell you something. He said, I'm too old to go to jail. He said, but I'll go. He said, do not ever pick up that phone and ask that mother so-and-so for a dime. Do you hear me? He said, whatever this baby need, I got you. He said, you ain't got to worry about no Pampers, no milk, no clothes, no nothing. He said, do you hear me? He said, you don't beg nobody to do shit for you. He said, I got you. He said, I'm your daddy. He said, I'm your daddy. He said, now I'll be that baby daddy too. He said, I got you. He said, you don't ask no man for nothing. He said, he don't want to do nothing for his own child. He said, I'm your daddy. And I got you. And I got that baby. And I said that to say that that's how God is. God is telling us, I'm your daddy. I'm your daddy. I got you. I got you and I got everybody around you. I got you. Don't depend on nobody else for your healing. Don't depend on nobody else to tell you what the truth is, because I'm your daddy and I told you and I got you. So I obeyed my father at 38 years old. I said, okay. He said, don't you pick up that phone not another time and ask him for nothing. He said, I got you. And when I tell you my daddy had me, my daddy had me. I went and I got on WIC. But before I got on WIC, my father was buying all the milk, all the Pampers. I didn't worry about nothing because I was still on maternity leave. I was getting paid. But my father came in every day with cases of milk. My child didn't go without anything. Diapers. My father was in a person now. He had a personality of excessiveness because he grew up poor. And I didn't have to worry about nothing. And I never picked up that phone and called that man again for nothing. And when I tell you all this, my son is 15 years old. I've never picked up that phone again and asked him for nothing. 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 Because I listened and I was obedient to my daddy. And I did what he told me to do. He told me, he said, you ever call him for nothing. He said, whether I'm here or I'm gone. He said, don't you ever. He said, because you shouldn't have to call a man to take care of his child. Don't you ever call him. He said, I'm your daddy. And I did what my father told me to do. And we have to do what our Father tells us to do. And stop worrying about other people and how they gonna do it. Because he got us. And he got everybody around you. Because what concerns you concerns him. Remember that. What concerns you concerns him. And I remember when Christopher was getting a little bit older and I was still kind of, learning this motherhood thing and trying to learn it and I remember God spoke so clearly to me and he said, you worried about Anthony and you worried about what Anthony gonna do. He said, don't worry about what Anthony gonna do. He said, I'm gonna take care of him. But you trust me. You believe in me. And I'm telling you all, he is 15 and he ain't never been hungry. He's 15 and he's had everything that he needs and he got everything that he wants. Not because I work, not because my mother or my father helped me, but because I put my faith and I put my trust in God. I know I didn't do it the way that I should have did it. I know it didn't come the way in which I wanted it to. I didn't do it the right way with a husband and, or a man I know. But even in the midst of my sin, even in the midst of me not doing it right, God said, I'm still here for you. God said, I'm not going to leave you. God said, I will never leave you, nor will I ever forsake you or have you begging for bread. That's what the word of God said. So you can mess up. You cannot do it the way you think you ought to do it. But even in the midst of our mess, even in the midst of it, God is still blessing and healing you through your mess. It's your mess, but God will come in and he'll patch it up. And my prayer is that he will do that for you, that he does it for me, that he does it for Kirk Franklin, that he does it for Kirk Franklin's mother, that he does it for Kirk Franklin's father, that he does it. And I know that he will. And so we can be one way today saying, well, you know what? I'm not going to forgive. I'm not going. But God has a way of speaking and touching your heart in a way that you never imagined that he could or he would. And he'll bring it all together and he'll make it all right. So what you say you're not going to do, you're not in control of what you're not going to do. You're not in control of you saying, I ain't going to forgive them. You don't know how God is going to speak to your heart. What you say you ain't going to do, you'll turn around and do something else. Because God is always in control. Because God is, if he's in you and he's through you, he's working on you. You can never say you ain't going to forgive somebody. Because remember, you belong to him. And God forgives us daily. Minute by minute, hour by hour, second by second. So if I leave anything with you today, is that if you haven't been healed and you need healing, ask God. Say, God, you know what? I don't even know how to do it. I don't even know where to begin. But let him do it. And when he do it and when he put it together and when he patch it up, you will know that it's from him. I hope you all have an amazing day. God bless you. I'm not a minister. I'm not even close to being a minister. But I hope that this message touched you. And I hope that somewhere, somehow, you get healed. That you get healed. And that whoever hurt you, that you don't worry about them acknowledging the hurt or the pain that they caused. Because God is going to work on them. But in the meantime, you get what you need over here for you. For you. Because your healing is important for you. Nobody else but for you. Y'all have an awesome day. I'll see you in the next video.